So what does Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to Beijing signal about Canada's priorities? And how does the U.S. ally weigh its national security with trade with China? Joining me now to assess these developments is Garry Clement, President and CEO of Clement Advisory Group and Senior Advisor of VersaBank. Garry Clement, thanks so much for joining.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Steve.
Great to have you with us, Garry. The Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney recently visiting Beijing, advancing a new trade framework with the Chinese Communist Party. What is the significance of that move, and where do you see the greatest dangers for Canada's security, given the state of the CCP?
CCP has a total different agenda. If you look at their Belt and Road Initiative, et cetera, and we know both in Canada, United States, and Europe, they do a great job of elite capture. They do a great job of getting individuals into some of our departments, and they've been doing this for a long time. So their ability with listening devices, et cetera, should be something that we're all concerned about. My concern is that I understand that it's a complex issue with what's going on in the world today, but at the same time, I don't think we can, and it's only my view, but I don't think we can put trade ahead of national security. And that's something I think we have to be very cognizant of because some of the decisions that are made, as we know, bringing in some of their vehicles, they're rolling movable listening devices. In my view, we found that out when we put the cranes at the ports, and I have no reason to doubt this won't be the same thing.
With the Chinese Communist Party in mind, what are some of your biggest concerns, especially with issues like drug trafficking, cybercrime, and transnational repression on your home soil?
Well, if we take a look at it, and as you know, we put out a book this year called Canada Under Siege, how Prince Edward Island became a forward operating base. And it's not just in Prince Edward Island, but what we saw there was an ability of the Chinese Communist Party to basically set up shop, in my view. It's still got to be fleshed out by an investigative agency with all their powers. And obviously, as a journalist, you don't have those, but we definitely had lots of individuals coming forward. But on the other side, we've known for a long time, when you take a look at the fentanyl trafficking, I've argued for the last number of years, if the PRC government wanted to stop the fentanyl precursor trade, they could. They're a communist party. And I don't believe there's a will there to do it. This is disruptive warfare in both of our countries, and I think it's the only way you can describe it. When you look at how much, and unfortunately, the United States is not immune. We know these monasteries that were set up. There was one, this same group bought a very large tract of land in Flushing, New York. So we know that's occurring in the United States. We know they're buying land up both in Canada and the United States that are near military establishment or bases, et cetera. Why are they doing that? Well, obviously we can only surmise, but common sense would tell you as part of their Belt and Road Initiative and listening devices, et cetera, et cetera. So I think all our countries have to be cognizant. You have to go in, if you're going to discuss trade with China, with your eyes wide open. And the minute you open the door, they're going to drive a semi through.
So, Garry, what are some of the real world risks of that cooperation with the CCP for Canadians, particularly diaspora communities such as the Falun Gong, Uyghurs, Tibetans, and so forth, who have actually faced intimidation in China and abroad?
Well, the sad part of it is that, first of all, I think with the law enforcement community in Canada, the Chinese Communist Party is grossly misunderstood. And the reality of it is the diaspora communities are being targeted. We know that. We knew we had police stations across this country. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is that the ability of China to operate almost unfettered in our country is something we should be all concerned about. We've seen politicians that allegedly have been elite captured. We know that they've impacted our elections. That's been proven out. The Hogue Commission did a very good job of establishing that. So it really can be, in fact, impactful on our democracy going forward.
Garry Clement, really appreciate you joining us and sharing your insights.
Thank you very much, Steve, for having me.